Hello, good evening, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about, well, the heat. Yeah, it's been a hot summer, and, well, computers really don't like the heat any more than people, so I figure it's a good time to talk about, well, situations in which a computer will get too hot, shut down, and basically, how do we stop this happening? Okay. Right. Well, of course, a computer has within it ways of cooling down. The simplest no moving parts option is to have basically shaped piece of metal with large surface area to conduct the heat away. And then there's also fans, but the problem with fans, of course, is that they can get clogged up with dust, and dust can generally be a bit of a problem for computers. Well, when I say a bit of a problem, okay, bit of an understatement there. Yeah, it's if you've not actually looked inside an old computer, you'll be surprised how dusty they get. Very dusty, and it will clog up the fan, insert a lot of heat, and basically everything can just get hot. Desktop computers usually don't necessarily shut down completely from heat, but laptops quite often can, particularly if it depends on the individual laptop. But yeah, so what you need to do then, of course, is, well, get rid of the dust. Now, in terms of how you should clean a computer, well, the most obvious thing to avoid is a mop. But yeah, but in terms of what the actual recommended thing is, it's something that sounds like a joke, but isn't. A can of air. Yeah, that sounds like you're sending someone to go ask to a shop or supply room to get a long wait. But, well, it's a kind of compressed air, so yeah, that's why you need to actually go and find one. You can get one from most stores that don't sell anything computer related. So basically, quite a lot of supermarkets these days, lots of general stores. It's not, just ask around and should be able to get one. So what you do is open up the computer and find where where the dust is, well, everywhere, and start spraying just straight compressed air. It can be a bit, yeah, yeah. One thing you will have to be aware of is with fans, make sure the fans themselves are not getting moved when you do this. Keep, if it's like either hold the fan still manually or have something stuck in, but obviously if you have something holding the fan still, make sure you definitely remove that before switching the computer back on. Yeah, and what you'd also, yeah, the reason that could be a problem is that, well, the fans, of course, electricity goes through, then that, I'm not going to. The science of how a fan works is a bit more technical than I want to get into right now, but if you move, yeah, so literally goes in, moves the fan, but if you move the fan manually, that could generate a small amount of electricity. Not a lot, but can be dangerous and might damage something. Yeah. Yeah, applying electricity randomly to a computer, you don't need a lot to do a massive amount of damage. So yeah, I mean, in terms of other methods of dusting, you would definitely want to avoid anything that would generate static electricity. Like most dust wiping cloths would actually not be a good idea for that reason. You know, anything that once you've used that your hair sticks to, again, static electricity, not good for the insides of your computer. Really, not good. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that can make quite a big difference is just, well, where physically the computer or particular laptop would be. I mean, laptops are particularly sensitive to this sort of issue. I mean, if you've got one literally on your lap, well, that, yeah, or on a bed or anything like that, then if you've got lots of flexible cloth or on a soft surface, it's quite easy for the vents at the bottom put to get covered up, and basically it'll stop a lot of the air going through and stop the heat being vented out, which can then, yeah, cause it to get hotter, and that will then cause it to switch off eventually if it gets too hot. Yeah, any modern computer is going to detect it's getting too hot and will shut down to prevent damage. Of course, repeatedly shutting down by surprise will eventually cause problems with the computer. So once or twice, it's something to, yeah, be aware of and make sure it doesn't happen again. But if it becomes a regular thing, it's going to be a problem. Aside from the already existing problem of you've just had your computer suddenly shut down with no warning, which, I mean, modern programs are quite good at recovery of documents in the event of a crash, so you're less likely to have a massive loss of data that you would have had like some time ago. I mean, with a desktop computer, of course, there's still have to be aware of what where it is. If there's somewhere where it's very enclosed and there's not a lot of air circulating around in a hot day, then that can again overheat. I mean, for a laptop, which generally, in terms of what else can you do to prevent overheating, there's various things like laptop trays and other similar features, like devices and such, that you can use to, well, increase airflow underneath or just lift out. I mean, while there are actual there's a called like trays and stands you can get, if you if you just started having a problem and you need a very quick solution before you and won't be able to go to somewhere to get one until sometime later, literally the easiest thing you can do is, well, just physically prop it up on something. Get like maybe prop it up on each corner on something, or you could get like a TV remote, just stick that under the front. Again, very simple, very quick makeshift solution. Of course, if you do that, you're probably going to want to have an external keyboard plugged in because, well, trying to type on that when it, well, that would be difficult, and it probably knock whatever's under the laptop potentially out. That would be annoying. So another option, well, another simple option is various travel stands, which again, they're also useful for just repositioning a laptop as such, and there's all sorts of options if you look. Now, these of course are generally, they're quite compact usually, and can easily, if you're traveling some with a laptop, be used to, well, carry out in your laptop bag. If you have accessories, that's simple enough. If you're using a laptop sometimes on your desk, then another option, a more effective option, is a cooling pad, which, as the pictures show here, has varying designs. I mean, you've generally got the wire mesh. Underneath is a pair of fans, or more fans, up to 6 in that one there. That's a lot of fans, but to be honest, the 2 fans is generally good. These ones again are adjustable. You can raise your laptop a bit further if you want a bit more height. Most of these designs are, you've got some variation, but they're basically pretty much the same design. A black tray with wire mesh. I've seen occasionally ones where they've got actual a solid sheet of metal that you rest it on with then a couple of fans built into that. I've used one of those. It's because it doesn't have the wire mesh and therefore it doesn't do as much to increase the amount of airflow and give general space underneath the laptop. Those tend not to work so well. I mean, in conclusion, basically, well, when it comes to overheating, a lot of the time it's basically literally that there's dust in the fans, or the fans just don't have enough airflow because where they're pointing is blocked off. It's things like don't press the computer right up next to surfaces to give them space, airflow. Can of air duster, very recommended for cleaning the inside. And is the test about to? No, I don't think so. Okay. Yes. So, yes, I was saying can of air, compressed air, quite useful. Oh yeah, and one other thing that can actually cause a computer more problems than you might think is smoking, actually. Yeah, cigarette smoke is, if that gets into a computer, I mean, it can be quite easily just smoking around it, then that can lead to a build-up of various things from the inside cigarette smoke on the inside of a computer, and again, that can make things sticky and just not that pleasant. And again, it traps the heat in, stops fans working, such. I mean, in terms of cooling, if none of the suggestions have actually worked, then it may be worth actually looking at more complicated solutions, such as, well, actually making improvements to the actual cooling, whether it's more fans, does mean you need to make sure the power supply is within, well, it's got enough power. Fans usually not as big a power hungry upgrade as some other upgrades. And there are more elaborate systems, such as setting up water cooling. Although, of course, in that case, of course, you have to be very careful of that because you want to keep the water very sealed. You don't want anything leaking there. Yeah, and I did read once about someone who didn't quite figure out, well, heard of water cooling, apparently may not have ever actually looked up anything about it and just really much ran a hose through their computer. That never switched on. Okay. I mean, hopefully that's not true. Hopefully no one actually ever did that, but yeah. Okay, and I think that pretty much covers all the points I was making. If you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch. If you are worried about, opening your computer and actually trying to do any of the cleaning I've mentioned, then it's a guide to get in contact with a professional. So, any questions or suggestions? Then feel free to leave a comment on this video or get in touch with us through our page. Okay, bye for now.